Guest here in studio with me, Jim Sheldon. Hi there.
Howdy, folks.
Good to see you.
Good to be here, sir. Always good.
How you been?
We're doing good. We're here to kind of celebrate the memories of the month of May for me, and hopefully it'll be encouragement for folks as we get into, I call the family time of we have Christmas, Thanksgiving, family get together. But May and June is really a lot about families, with Mother's Day and kids graduating from different levels of schooling, and marriages happening, vacations happen. So it's a real family time of year, and it's been a special time for me for sure.
Awesome. I'm getting a little feedback here. Let me see if I can find out where that's coming from here. I have to adjust. I'm hearing something, but yeah, bear with me as I do this and get it ready. I think that we'll work it out. It's like, you gotta love live radio, you know. It's
That's
like,
right.
Technical difficulties.
This is not Memorex.
No, it is not. So today we're going to talk about that special time for you. May is important.
Yes.
And how about we kick it off with your brand new radio release?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, yes, he
Certainly.
did. Okay, let's do that. Here he is, Jim Sheldon, with us for the next hour, and we're going to talk about some things, have some fun together here on the Heavens Country Radio Network. Jim Sheldon, and yes, he did, on Heavens Country.
At the age of 18, found myself on the road to Calvary, wondering if the Lord would save sinners such as me. Kneeling there before him, I was scared and all alone, knowing for the things I'd done that hell would be my home. But when I said I'm sorry and I asked if he'd forgive, but he did, oh Lord, yes he did. He forgave me of my sinful past, says go and sin no more. Set my feet on a righteous path that leads to heaven's shore. He showed me how the Christian life is life abundantly. When we stand upon his word, let him daily live. Looking back, I'm still amazed at what he did so I could live. What he did, oh Lord, yes he did. 'Cause he walked with me and found that I can be all I could be. Since the Lord became the root that grounds my family tree. No longer in the darkness, I am thriving in the light. Learning how to lean on him and fighting the good fight. To God be all the glory, let the sun not forget. What he did, oh Lord, what he did. He forgave me of my sinful past, says go and sin no more. Set my feet on a righteous path that leads to heaven's shore. He showed me how the Christian life is life abundantly. When we stand upon his word, let him daily live. Looking back, I'm still amazed at what he did so I could live. What he did, oh Lord, yes he did. My sinful past, says go and sin no more. Set my feet on a righteous path that leads to heaven's shore. He showed me how the Christian life is life abundantly. When we stand upon his word, let him daily live. Looking back, I'm still amazed at what he did so I could live. What he did, oh Lord, yes he did. Looking back, I'm still amazed at what he did so I could live. When he did, oh Lord, yes he did. Well he did, oh Lord, yes he did.
Kevin's country ticket from the top. Jim Sheldon, the positive cowboy, with the Yes He Did. So today is the last day of April. Can you believe that?
I know, it's hard to believe. My goodness.
I know.
It's gone so quickly.
Yeah.
And what's neat is this, we could talk about May. In May, officially 1 year, my wife and I have been in our new home in Adolphus near Scottsville.
Really? A year?
Yeah, we actually moved in officially on May 8th.
Oh, my goodness.
We closed on our new house purchase on the 26th, 28th. We were able to start moving in officially on the 8th. And so it's just been amazing. I mean, it was probably, as big a move to go from Stanford to Scottsville, Kentucky, as it was from Virginia to Kentucky 25 years ago, because we're 3 hours west now. We're a different time zone. You got to do all the new doctors and a whole new area to learn. But it's amazing how when you every time I've learned what I've moved and God was in it, how much easy you didn't realize it was going to be to do it. Every part of the move has just proven it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
At the right time, you know. And I mean, you and I, look at us. I just drove home this morning, to come be with you, and we're gonna go do some stuff at the studio, and then I'll bring you back home, and then I gotta go do some rehearsals. So all these things I've been able to do that I couldn't do before, and it's amazing how God has just blessed this move, and so that's why I wanted to share. I always like to share with people about life. I didn't realize, I used to not think, I'm nobody, I'm no different than anybody else, not a lack of confidence, but just never took myself, like some people do. I never had a real ego, I've always had to fight and work twice as hard to do things I do. Like some people can, I knew guys that, I'm playing ball, they can go half speed and still be better than me. Me, I got to go 100% all the time just to get it decent, And so anyway, May to me has always been a mixed emotion. You have Mother's Day soon, but I thought it's just you focus on the times. That song we just put out is to celebrate on May 7th, a week from now. I will celebrate 50 years in Christ. I gave my life to Christ May 7th, 1972, at the First Baptist Church, New Orleans, at 18 years old. When my parents had been divorced, I was by myself in a time you wouldn't think would be a time you would find God, but I had to find Him, and He was there for me in the Big Easy there, of all places, with all the choices I had to make, And if it wasn't with that, I couldn't be who I am today, praise God. So that song, Celebrate. Yes, He did. He saved me. There were times I thought maybe I messed up, maybe I didn't get saved, but He proved Himself right every time in me, And so that's why I celebrate month of May. It's a wonderful time. I graduated high school 52 years ago, and it's been a rough road, but God's been there ever since. And He knew He had to get a hold of me then. He allowed me to get in a little wilderness with no family, just kind of try to look for things and find out things. He saved me, And so I was able to then be there for my family since then. It's kind of neat,
Yeah.
And then we're also here, and this month, my sister on May 3rd, this Friday, she would have been 64. Now my sister and I, we had to suffer through the struggles of our parents at the time, and but she and I continued to go walk and go to Sunday school together in church. She was a sweet spirit child and everything, and she just loved people and everything. And of course, she worshiped her father. I was my stepfather, but he was an old man, busy, gone on oil wells, and that's just what you do, But then they had troubles with Mom and him. And then, it got to where they finally had the part, and then it was not just not there, he was almost completely absent for her at that stage of life when a young girl getting ready to go to teens need that father and mother to keep her balanced, and it wasn't there. And so, a lot of times the child doesn't know, and they will try to replace that hole they feel. They don't know quite what it is yet, but obviously the love of a father or whatever. So in New Orleans, it's easy for alcohol to take over. I mean, at that time, 18 was the age of drinking. Louisiana State was the last state to go up to 21. And so
okay. Didn't know that.
At 18 years old, anybody can look 18, and they didn't card as heavy in those days like they do now. I mean, the first time I was ever carded was in Virginia, and I was like 30 years old, and I gave the guy my ID. I said, "I hope he can count this high." He kept looking at my number. And believe me, sir, I'm old enough. Hello, he was trying to add up the years. Yeah,
That's funny.
but anyway,
Like, don't talk. I'm losing count. Hang on.
I know. Yeah, how old is he? Yeah. But life is something that's given to us. We don't ask it. We're here, and then all the choices we make are based on that we're here and what we're born into, and whatever the strife, good, whatever, And I've learned in my life that God already knew. My parents were divorced. My mom would remarry. We'd have Barbara come in, and then they would have problems. And God knew my sister's situation. And then obviously she got up in Virginia, and something inside her must have awakened to say, "Hey, I want to break this thing." And so she started going to AA. And see, I understand you have to want to go. You have to go yourself. And they have
You got to hit rock bottom.
and they told me there's many who'll come and they'll quit. And but anyway, she so through her Bible study and things like that, it awakened all the things that we learned together. We went to Sunday school together as kids, and she got saved. She stopped the alcohol cold turkey. In 84, she was on the way to Fairfax Hospital in Fairfax, Virginia, to celebrate 2 years of sobriety when a lady on the Washington, Northern Virginia Beltway, forgetting her turn, just turned her vehicle. My sister had one of those full-size Jeeps, hit the Jeep and rolled it, threw her from the vehicle, and they literally had to pull asphalt out of her head. She was body cast for probably a year plus. They kept telling my mom that she was going to die or be a vegetable, might as well pull the plug, and we wouldn't do that. Well, she healed up physically, and there were some things she had to kind of get some theory to help reorganize the thinking, because your brain is a muscle. It got shook up there, and so it kind of has to reset itself somehow. But through that, she become such an organized person. Went back to school, finished her degree, went to work for Sprint when they began their overseas network for the first time. So she grew with it, and she wound up knowing more about it than the people who own it, And so she married a couple of times, and the guys weren't great guys anyway, but she still kept a good spirit. She was a good person, and at the time that she passed away, I had moved to Virginia. I was singing with the male quartet, and we were having to sing in a church on a Sunday in Huntington, West Virginia area. Got the call from Mom on Friday that Barbara had been found dead in her home at age 40.
Oh.
And it turned out, the doctor said a piece of whatever, brain, whatever, was floating in from that accident. And it finally just clogged at the right place, wrong time. She never felt it at all. She got up and they found her. She was long gone. Anyway, but at that time I was singing, and because of my past, I was still kind of leery of this gospel thing. It was almost being too easy, And I always think, well, maybe it's me wanting it to happen so bad that pushing. Sometimes we can make us believe God wants this, and make it okay. But I've learned I want to make sure I'm on His path, and so I go to do her services, and she died November 2nd, 2000. It was just before the election, the presidential election between George Bush Jr. and Al Gore. Anyway, so we had the services, and I sang, and I got to watch. I'd say 300 people that she had known through the AA community there, and saving. She became a mighty minister, advocate. God using her as a glove in the community,
Wow.
And they got up and spoke about Barbara's whatness, her walk with Jesus, how she would sit with him on a phone all night, or come sit with him at home when they were in a crisis moment. And they would ask, why are you doing this? Well, Jesus saved me. I just want to help you with it too. And so for 16 years, beyond what the doctors want to give her, God used her to get off that and to help all these people who otherwise wouldn't have been saved, probably.
No kidding. Yeah.
And during that time, I kept hearing this little small voice in my ear saying, look what I've done to your sister. She don't have a seminary degree. She don't have the voice. She don't have the singing. She don't have the ministry calling that I get upon your life. And now I've given you. She says, now go let me do through you what I've done through her and what I've given you. And so it's amazing how in what could be a tragedy turned into a joy, and was neat on the way from Kentucky to Virginia when I first responding to her death, to be there for Mom. My tears, all of a sudden I realized, hey, Barbara's safe. She's in heaven, and I had no one if my other family members had been, I didn't have that assurance. So I always grieved a long time for them, and I figured that's what you do. Then I realized, Barbara's saved. She's better off. She's now good.
Yeah.
I just be there for Mom. So I could go and minister and be there for Mom. And of course, my mom, she had to go through all that stuff with Barbara. All the alcohol, and as many times she got caught up with these bad men that would, because again, I think, how it is, she didn't have that relationship with the father she should have had. Then there's something in her wanting to replace that. And some older guy comes along and says the right things, and sweet talks to her, and all of a sudden she's in trouble. And more than twice, I think my mom had to sneak in and rescue her out of the home there to get her out of that situation, because she couldn't make that choice for herself.
It's good that Mom was there, no doubt about it.
And so Mom had to go through that. They call that codependency, where Mom was actually living her life through Barbara's situation, and they were close. Of course, I was married again, and with my wife, we were moved to Kentucky, and so many of those years, Mom and Barbara and I weren't living in the same house. I talked with her, visit holidays, things like that, and knew I was doing well, but she spent so much time with Barbara, and so she really took it hard. My mom, she lived in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And she would call me on May 2nd, or the day before her death. She'd say, now, Barbara's died yesterday, tomorrow, or, Barbara's birthday, so don't call me, And what she does, she tells all her friends not to call her. And she spends the whole day with all the pictures and memory of Barbara and all the stuff, and just, which, grief is a hard thing. And we all got to find a way, I guess, to experience ours. And but I knew Mom, I couldn't let Mom stay in that forever. That this is a hard time. That's a hard thing, and so I needed something to encourage her, a song. She was encouraged by my singing. I first tried out. There's a Josh Groban song called "To Where You Are." You may have heard. a great song.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I've
yeah.
sung it. It was a hard song to sing. I recorded with Charles Novell. They like because the guy, the great producer out there, Foster something, was behind the song. He was happy to have that name in their feather cap. But it was a hard song to sing, and you had to really, in a church setting, had to really, speak of the song a little bit to get it into a church setting. It's really a love song kind of thing. But then I was recording my second album with Homeland, Scott Godsey, Bev McCann. I was looking for a 10th song. And Roy Hall, we first got to chatting on Facebook and stuff like that. He was writing poems. He sent me this poem. And when I read the words, I said, wow, this speaks to what Barbara's personality would have been. She would have spoken this way. I said, do you have a tune or anything? And Nick Bruno was producing the tracks for me then. And so Roy sang it through, so I took that on my laptop and had Nick create the chart, and we had a great song we put on it. And anyway, and so Mom finally felt some comfort. I could encourage her that Barbara was saved, despite that, she could have died, but she didn't. The 16 years we got to have with her after that, and so when I sang the song, Mom felt comfort. We got to get Mom to move from Hendersonville to live with us in Danville, share a house there. And Mom then we got her finally back in church, and she realized that she was saved, and she rededicated at the church, things like that. Then she got involved with Compassionate Friends, which is a help group for parents who've lost children. Losing your children is not an natural order of things, for your children to go before you. But Mom became then a strong minister help for people as they lost their kids, to be there for them, having experienced that with losing Barbara, And so with this song, and my encouragement, I would help get Mom get back at church. So see, the catalyst of Barbara getting me saved, first of all, and Barbara hearing the gospel, getting saved, to get in front of those people. God encouraged me, to keep doing what I'm doing, and to be there now to minister to Mom, to get her back in church, and now she was ministering for people who lost. So that's how God works. We don't plan things. God can't keep things from happening, but He sees them coming, and He has that plan to work through us in those things. Because who else could understand the loss of a child than someone who has done that, right?
True.
Who can understand about alcohol, unless you've seen it in your home and see the destruction and see someone saved from it. The world always says if you're drunk, they said your dad's a drunk and sleep around, you're going to be the same thing. Well, God said, no, you're mine now. 52 years ago, He said, no, you're mine. I'm going to be your father. We're going to take care of things. You put that stuff behind you. I got a plan for your life, and here we go, And so it's through those things that we get to be that point, And so we got Mom back there, and so what's neat was they would have they had 2 events a year with Compassionate Friends. And Christmas, they'd have a gathering and a service, and they'd light a candle each one for their loved one, and kind of a way of, remember them in a positive way. And then in spring, they had a balloon release. They would take balloons and write a message to their loved one, and the idea of kind of finally letting them go from your spirit as well as your mind, and have a good place to think of them from that point on, And so, and she would have me come and sing this song each and every time, So Mom not only took it to her, she helped me then to help other people with the same thing, And if you know Brother Roy, you know some of the things he's gone through, and look what God has done through this song and other things to him.
Testimony is amazing.
And that we, at first when we we finally put the song out. I wasn't sure because song that's pretty emotive song. Some people would think, but when we put out, we put it with who was actually Perry Ellis. I talked to him about it and said, let's try it. And went to number 14. I was surprised. Of that kind. You're a radio man. It's a good song, but you probably wouldn't expect that to do as well. Because it's
Some
just
songs will surprise you.
yeah. Because especially when you got good productions and happy songs and strong songs. That's a song that obviously the people it touches, and that's the difference in a good song and if it's delivered right. And so it's amazing what that song has done. And now I sing it every chance I get. It's amazing how God has worked through it so many times. And of course, grief. Now you got to move from that. God says, "Come as you are, but don't leave the way you are." Right?
Mm-hmm.
When He told the woman, go and sin no more, like my song said.
Yeah.
If you get the past, but now go do something else. You're now with me now. And so you got God's mindset in you now. Anyway, I kind of thinking about that. I was moving, singing, still having some reluctance, just not for me. I never doubted God. I just want to make sure maybe I had it wrong. God's never wrong, but sometimes we can misinterpret something as God. Even Satan will give you something, a carrot to go follow that might seem
and make
like
it
a
look
good
really
thing.
good.
And if you're delivering God's words, God's going to work through that, but doesn't mean that's the path you're going to be. And so, and I've seen the difference of my effectiveness, God through me, by way I let God have complete control. And so, I wrote a song on my. This would have been in between albums then. We were doing the Shoot Music City show then, and I was starting to get encouraged about things in life, and seeing Mom back in service. So I kept thinking about that service at Barbara, where here these people. Barbara's been gone, dead a week now, right? And 300 people get on the top how Barbara, her witness, her walk for Jesus helped them. And he thanked Jesus for his salvation, for the blood on the cross, all these things. And my thought was, listen, she's gone. Her witness is still sharing the gospel even after. Because so even in death, if you're with God, it's a good thing because she's at peace. And again, we can't take anything with us, and it's more important the message and the life and I guess the way we were received on earth here is what we do leave behind, good, bad, or whatever, And so for my sister to remember that way, that makes the peace easier to accept her in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote this song as well, because we're all appointed to die one time and then judgment. And I know now 52 years now, I know when I die, wherever I was, even when I was divorced and in my bad time, I would have died and gone to heaven, but I was miserable at the time, and God never wants to leave you there. He knows you had to go there. Moses had to go out into the wilderness. He was waiting for him there, like wait for me. He'll wait for any of us. When we get to that wilderness, only he can help us, pull us up, and that's where we're anchored in him then. And so I want to sing this next song that I wrote, Even After. And again, the message today is, folks, here we are in families. Families is what we're born into. We don't choose them. We get to choose friends and school and everything else, but when we're born, it is what it is,
Yeah.
But God already knows that, and and it's who God uses to shape and mold who we're going to become. And it's just depending on how quickly we are to catch up with God to realize, oh yeah, this is what, now I look back on, used to be painful tears. I used to not be able to talk about my dad or Father's Day, things like that. And still, it was hurtful things he did. I have real doubts whether he's in heaven, but he could have made that last call out when he was sick and dying. I don't know. That's between him and God, maybe. But but it's made much a difference in my life to know my sister is saved, to know for sure my mom, I got her see her smile 2 days before she passed. That's God. That's the difference God makes. And this time of family, I just want to encourage people, your family is your most important unit in your life. There will always be a part of your life, whether you want to be or not. The blood is there. Even in divorce, my stepfather was a step, but I have a sister. We have the same blood, so we're joined that way. He gave me his name. He didn't have to do that. He could have left me. He didn't have to adopt me. So obviously, there's purpose and love in that. So I have to honor him, and I had to come to a love of my father before seeing that last time, because I still had some residual anger and hurt from what he did to our home. I had to get rid of that and have that love and respect of who he was as still my father, the one that God allowed to come into my home and affect me, however that was, and still use that as part of how Jim Sheldon, Polished Cowboy came to be, and when you do that, that takes away the hurt, the hate is erased, so you can live and be healthy and smile and reach other people, because hate will eat you up faster than anything else, And so, again, this month, your family is who you are. Love your family. Pray for them. They're the first influence you can be. Here I was, influence of my sister, of my mom, of Jeanette's daughter, of my daughter, my grandson, her mom. All these things is because God, I surrendered to God. And so now I want to sing this song. Even after, let it be encouraging you, and remember to love your mom, your family this month more than anything else. You don't know when they're going to go. And you don't know when you're going to go. And as we get closer to things, it could be sooner than we think. Here's that song called Even After. Found the missing part. Jesus came to her heart. Let's say again. Sometimes you don't know. Came into her heart. The mission was made clear. Tell the world not to fear. Speak to the ones who will hear. She knew the truth from the start. The sin stole her away. God will pursue her day. When you heed to the call, it changes it all. Life is short and every day matters. There's nothing the Lord won't do to bring you back to you. Her witness still shares the gospel even after. It's been years since she's been gone, but there's it's time for you and me. Let's make the world see the grace He gave is still here. His mercy will restore. Life is renewed with the Lord. When you heed to the call, changes it all. Life is short and every day matters. There's nothing the Lord won't do to bring you back to you. The witness will share the gospel even after. The witness will share the gospel even after. I'll see my sister again soon. Till then, I'm going to serve God as she did.
That is a beautiful song, Jim. It really is.
Thank you.
I just think about that and I can picture it as you're singing it. It's just beautiful, beautiful.
Well, it's helped me become the Pies Cowboy. Being his glove, sharing people, and all that stuff helped me connect with other families, you know. I mean, God knows all the things we go through, you know, and we all have different things that bring us down. God knows Satan how to bring things to us, but God's, if you're saved, that's the first thing. 52 years I'm saved. Without that, none of this happens, you know. And then being saved to go through stuff and always having the heart after God, but you know, Satan's always going to be there after heels on your back, trying to drag you down and get you off even just a little bit, you know, and then making wrong choices, and you know, and your choices are based on what you're growing in. You know, a bad seed and a bad garden not going to grow like it's supposed to. You can take that seed out and put it in a good soil, it's going to do better. You know, that's what God really had done in my life. He took my seed and took it out of the world with the divorce and everything and put me in His garden to grow better, you know, and be more influential to other people. That way, all the stuff He knows I was going to go through after that, He could be there to work behind the scenes and keep him from losing the deep down person you are. Always wanted to be a happy person, always good. He helped me as a child to create that kind of a special world I lived in, you know, like this Christmas story guy, you know. He gave me a way to preserve the goodness of my main self, but then give me a chance where I can grow finally in Him to be the person I knew. This being a month of May, my sister again, on Friday the 3rd, she would have been 64, but she's been better off for 24 years now than everything could happen. And it happened because she finally gave her life to Jesus Christ. She got off the alcohol, and then God used her to influence all those people at her services to talk about Jesus based because of her witness, you know, and then after she's already gone. Get my mom back to church, get her back to God. She realized she was saved, got in church. She was helping people through Compassion Friends, and then I got to sing for my mom the last few years there at the place we kept her in for her Alzheimer's, and she died with a smile on her face, you know. And so that's life in Jesus Christ. And this month of May, I want you to cherish your family. Love your mama like never. If you still got your mama, you love her, and make sure she's anchored in God. You know, your children, speak of God. They're going to learn more about what they see you do and what they see you give your time to than what you say. Okay, you know, they say, well, the manners are caught, not taught. You can tell someone.
That's true.
Not, you know, I remember my teacher taking us to a smoking cancer ward when I was in high school, trying to deter us from smoking. Went through, and it was all one big ward. You didn't have rooms. Everybody's in there, all these different beds. We finally get to this last guy in the last bed, and he'd had that little hole they put in so you could breathe right in your neck right here.
Oh yeah, tracheotomy.
He had a cigarette stuck in it. He was using to puff that cigarette with that little hole.
You got to be kidding me.
No. And here's this guy dying of it.
What?
That hole is how he's breathing now, and he's still because of that drug.
The
it's
nicotine.
got a hold of him, and his body still craves it. And
wow.
But with God coming in life, my sister didn't go that way. She could finally get rid of the alcohol, and live a peaceful, good, productive life in Jesus.
That's awesome.
This month is the month of May.
Yeah.
Love your family. Thank God every day for them. I do. And so today, just about Jim, Sheldon, Sherry, a little piece of myself, honoring my sister, her path, my mom, Mother's Day coming, 52 years saved this month of May, so it's all things that God has done in my life. So think about your life as God, and if you look back in your life, you'll see, well, actually God has been working in your life all the way through. You wouldn't be here today no matter how bad those days were. You're still here. The sun came up this morning, had some rain this morning, and here we are. It's all gifts of God, and it's what we get to do with it, what we choose to do with it. It helps us to be who He wants us to be. So I would hope this morning just be encouragement. Also, all I want to do is encourage people because God has blessed me beyond anything I could ever imagine, and every day I've got more opportunities to share, and I'm glad that we all move like we did a year ago. It's another thing for May,
Yeah, we're neighbors now.
Yeah, we are. But it's always good to be with you, Marty, and everybody here in Heaven's Country. Hope these songs encourage. Thanks, Roy, for writing this song for me. And thank for God giving the inspiration of even after to courage. Thank for the courage you did to me through my sister's passing, and so I could be effective for you and all the other folks I'm able to influence and be an impact and be your glove in all this thing. So, again,
Amen.
It's always joy to be with you, Marty. Thanks again for letting me come and be with you and share with the people who are listening.
Oh, thank you. Have you got time? Can you give us one more? You got time for one more?
One more?
Yeah, please.
Okay. How about my newest release, Gloves?
Okay. Yeah, that'll be great. And you can get that CD as well. Head over to heavenscountry.com, look on the artist page, or go to jimsheldonmusic.com.
And right now in 3 charts, it's 50 or above in all 3.
Congratulations.
50 in the 50, top 50.
That is wonderful.
And we've been talking about God using me as His glove. He's doing His work through me. I'm not doing His work for Him. It's better for Him to do it through me. He's never going to be a co-pilot. Either he's flying the plane or the plane's going to crash. And I can tell you that. My plane crashed. I tried to get him to go. It just won't work. But let this song encourage me. I always enjoy singing this song. And it's my newest one, so I hope it encourages you too, called Gloves. And so I give it freely and lay it at his feet. This land belongs to me, it ain't mine to keep. I get up every morning, got my work cut out by letting it all go. I figured one thing out, the two don't do a thing to toil and turn to dirt. The spirit fills the gloves, the hands must do the work. That's right. God works in, after all, to let him work through you. Fill you like gloves and get that work done. Praise God.
There you have it, Jim Sheldon. And man, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Marty. Always great to listen, Nate.
You know, it's funny. I think about the years we've known each other when we first met in Colorado Springs
Yes.
years ago, and then you would come out to Durango, and then I moved out here, and you moved closer.
Yeah.
God is doing some great stuff here. And
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's things we couldn't have done before at all.
No, at all. And like you say, I mean, you see God move at the time. You may not realize it, but then when you look back, it's like, wow, God's hand was in it the whole time.
He has been, and we just finally, let him do the work. Be his
Amen.
gloves, and
Amen.
and so
Okay.
it's always a wonderful thing.
Speaking of gloves, how do we get that CD?
JimShellMusic.com, and it's on YouTube, and it's also on iTunes. You can download it there too. And just like I said, it's 15 songs, about 5 originals that run on there, including gloves, and of course some other albums there. Even After is on my Positive Cowboy song CD. I'm Going Home is on the Still Putting God First album that I did years ago with Homeland. And so it's something I do quite a bit. So God's just blessed. I mean, I'm thinking of like now 9, 10 albums I'm done. And I'm waiting for
Wow.
my new Christmas to finally get mixed
Can't
down.
wait for that one.
I've got bed encouraged to kind of get me some. I want to do a Christmas tour come December, November, December. So any of you folks have a church, love to have me come and do a Christmas program with my brand new Christmas album. 3 of those songs recorded with Riders of Light Players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One song, a Fats Domino song with Catherine Marks, who plays for Reba, and Steve Brewster. You will feel you were right there in New Orleans with that jazz thing going on. All new songs, original stuff, and so hopefully, if you want to do that, call me. Go to my website, JimSheldonMusic.com. Look for the Paz Cowboy on Facebook, Jim Sheldon Facebook, Jim Sheldon Paz Cowboy Facebook, Music City Quartet on Facebook. Either way, contact me by messenger if you want your church to be part of a Christmas tour. I'd love to do. I haven't done one in a while, but I finally was excited about this new album. We're going to have it all mixed up and finished, and I'm excited to sing. I just love Christmas, and I think we finally got the spirit of Christmas with the players on there, and it's just been so fun. So there you go.
Yeah, that was a fun time watching you do your Christmas songs this past December.
Oh, yes.
Went to your website, JimSheldonMusic.com, hit the products tab. You've got a couple of deals going on for your fans. You can get 3 $15 CDs for $30.
Yes.
Save $15.
Oh, yeah.
But you can also get a set of 5 CDs for $65, which is great.
You're talking about now, over 12 years of albums. Now God has launched this full time, since about 2011. And it's God's. You can see God's history through me as I've grown, as He's grown me, and the things we've done, and so yeah. So please do go there and Like I said, if
Yeah.
you have a church would like to be come to your church, do a Christmas program from November, December, whatever, you just let me know. We'll get it scheduled.
Cool deal. Yeah, on that page there, that product page, you get to pick the CDs you want. So, yeah,
Yes.
pick any 5.
Yes.
Jim, thank you. It's good to have you.
Marty, always great. Thank you, folks, for listening. I hope you've been encouraged. And I give me feedback. I always want to know what God's doing in people's lives through me, because that helps me to know I keep doing what I'm doing.
There you go. I've got to play this song. It's one of my favorites off your Gloves project. you know what's coming. You know
Oh,
which
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
But I love this song.
But I got,
So, how about we wrap it up with that one there? Jim Sheldon.
Oh, yes.
And then we're going to go back. I'm going to go back and play a classic. You mentioned all your songs over the years.
Yes.
But one of your big hits was He's a Mighty Good Friend.
Oh, yes.
And I'm going to play that as well. But we're going to wrap it up here. You guys are my people. Love you guys. Heaven's Country Nation, thanks for tuning in. The website, heavenscountry.com. Go to the artist page, see Jim Sheldon there. Click on the Glove CD, and you can get those CDs today. Purchase those, and thank you so much. God bless you guys. We love you. Have a great day. These are my people on the Heaven's Country Radio Network. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
All
Thanks so
my
much, folks.
people.
Stay positive.
This is the land where my forefathers lie. These are my people. In brotherhood we're heirs of a creed to live by. A creed that proclaims by loved ones bloodstained. This is my land and these are my people. These are my people. They were born on and lived by the land. These are my people. Their cities were raised by hard-working hands. Their faces to tell they're holding on well to this their land. Yes, these are my